Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me. And I can't choose.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Patreon. It's Q+Anal.
We gotta remember to do ads.
Yeah, we gotta do ads. We almost forgot yesterday.
good
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
We did one of them's down. One of them
One
we
down.
already-
One down.
Yeah.
We got one.
By the way, somebody wrote to me. They're like, "Hey, thanks for putting your hat on for the ads, so people know when to fast forward."
Oh.
'Cause I didn't wear a hat, and then we were doing the ads on the run. I put my hat on, and so they're like, "Great." So maybe I'll do that.
You got an ad hat.
Actually, I put in a little sound that transition so that people know to fast forward.
Oh,
so when they're
nice.
listening to it, they just go like this, and then there's a sound coming back
You
in
see,
too.
you cunts, you hate on this guy. He's helping you out.
Should we say this publicly? They're gonna cut our ad money, but this is the Patreon.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
They don't listen to the page.
So here's what I was going to tell you. First of all, interesting. I interviewed Kevin Ryan from Are You Garbage. Mm-hmm. Right before Are You Garbage became Kevin Ryan and H. Foley, it was Kevin Ryan, H. Foley, and Andrew Chavone. And I
Right.
had no
What?
idea. That was the show right before they changed to Are You Garbage.
I didn't even know they knew each
I
other.
was about to say the same sentence.
Isn't that the craziest thing ever?
You're kidding.
And so that's
Is this
interesting.
okay to get out?
What?
Is this okay to put out? I don't know if they want to say.
the episodes are out that they put out. I
Oh,
think it was
okay.
called Hard Feelings. That's what it was, and it was
Ah.
those three, and then it became just the Kevin and H. Foley, and it was Are You Garbage?
Good name for a porn.
Here's
Hard
why I'm
Feelings.
bringing it up, though.
Hey.
One of the series ideas I've been pitching to you guys for a long time is Give It a Goog, where we find your old clips,
Yes.
and just have you comment on them, kind
You
of like
pitched this to us?
I've
remember
pitched-
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many
Oh.
times. Remember when I first started working for you, and I made that big list of all my ideas, and one of them was like a
Oh,
Halloween
yeah,
episode
yeah.
where we sacrificed Shelby.
I threw that right in the trash.
Nobody reads lists.
So anyway, a clip came up. It's one of those like roast battles at the stand hosted by
Yeah.
Louis J. Gomez.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the judges are Mark Normand, Robert Kelly, Ari Shafir. Roast battle between Andrew Chavone and H. Foley.
Whoa.
What?
And it's super funny. They're both super funny-ish.
They're funny guys.
Chavone is killer and H. Foley's killer.
I had no idea these guys were associated.
Neither did, but who knows about I don't know why they stopped podcasting
I have
together. So it
no-
might be a hot button question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this is dicey, but I have no recollection of that roast at all. How'd it go?
It was good. I mean, what was funny is H. Foley kept stepping on Chavone a little bit, and so you guys were like, both you and Robert Kelly were both like, "Oh, H. Foley, I would have said that you won, but I'm going to give it to Chavone because you kept stepping on him."
Did he win overall?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, he won the battle but lost the war. I
They
guess.
were both funny though. They were both really, really funny. The jokes were solid.
They're funny
I
guys.
don't remember a lot of those because I judged a bunch of those. I judged the Dina one, the famous Dina one.
That went viral.
Yeah, it was hugely viral, but I don't even remember.
See, that's the kind
What
of
I said.
We could watch it on Give It a Goog. You guys can watch it and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember this night. This happened," and that'd be great. People would love that. And
I'd
you
rather
guys
watch that than my act.
You've done 2 of them already on the Patreon a long time ago, where you watched like a 12-year-old clip of yours
yeah,
and
yeah,
like a 12-year-old clip of yours.
Yes.
From the Comedy Studio, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be like a continuation of that. I think we could do it. I think people would love it. Here's what's crazy: if it was that, you can get Chavone in, or you can get Foley in, or you can get someone who's part of it
right.
to come
That's
do
fun.
it.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
we were
a
talking
good
about
idea.
doing guests, and now
We
we
could
have
do it in the
access-
conference room.
the big conference room.
Yes. It's
Put
a
it
big
on the
coat.
big screen.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that'd be
All
really,
right.
really fun.
I'm going to watch every big fight
Yeah.
here.
All right, so
Every
I do
big
have a
fight.
couple of questions on Q&Anal, many questions.
Was this all part of the episode? I can't tell.
Yeah, I think it's part of the
okay.
bonus. It's just fun.
All right,
A little
great.
behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, just change the sounds so they can fast forward through. I should have put my hat on.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes of another show.
Any,
by the
any
way.
of our ideas that bring us more money, I'll fast forward through them. All right, so here we go. From Trumpet Smash on
Trumpet
Instagram.
Smash.
Yeah, that's his name. Mark, will you tell a story about the canceled Toronto shows from the Dark Comedy Fest?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't think it's anything interesting. I think COVID shit happened and they canceled the shows.
That's it?
That was it.
Yeah, I
It's
think-
nothing cool. I didn't.
that's not too
I didn't
cool.
miss a flight or whatever. It was just like COVID was getting crazy, and they They pulled it.
I think that's what Canada does. They cancel everything.
Yeah, you were
they're,
saying
they're,
that.
They're a fucking mess up there.
Except Trudeau. He's doing fine.
But still, they're still like, well, COVID, you get the app and the thing. You're like, what are you guys doing up here?
I know. It's crazy. It's unnecessary. You got to put a mask on when you land in Canada. The whole thing's silly.
You
Yes.
got a maple leaf that are alone. Back to back is tough.
Yeah.
From Andy Tannehill on Instagram.
But I'm coming to Toronto. I got 3 shows or whatever in like 2 weeks. So
There you go.
It's back.
Oh, Toronto.
The first time I heard you guys was on Round Table of Gentlemen.
Wow.
wow. That's
Blast
old
from
school.
the jizz right there.
Do you have a favorite memory with the LPN/Murder Fist folks?
Well, I mean, my favorite memory is Ed Larson walking around my neighborhood. I mean, I text him about every 6 weeks. I was walking around my neighborhood, bumped into Ed Larson. I said, what are you doing in this neighborhood? And he said, I just moved here. I live down the street. And I go, no kidding. I had no idea we should get together. And then he said, by the way, the apartment below me, they're redoing it right now. Nobody lives there. It's almost done. And I was like, I'll take it. I was like, he's like, I'll go show you right now. He took it, showed me his apartment, which is identical. Now Ronan lives up there. And you lose the pennant with that trade.
You got that right.
And so Larson showed me around, and he said the one downstairs is almost done. It looks identical. And I said, tell your landlord I'll take it. And he's like, all right, I'll text him right now. He texted me back 10 minutes later. He's like, it's yours. It opens May 1st, 2016. I went over to Sarah. She was bartending in the neighborhood, and I said, hey, we're moving.
Oh.
And she said, what do you mean? I go, I got us an apartment, and you're not going to be able to see it, but take my word for it. I found a place. And she said, okay. And we live there to this day. And now Steve and Caitlin live there. Rogers
that.
and Balufo. Ronan lives there. It's the best place ever. And so that's my best memory. That's not of the show.
That's a beautiful thing, though. I mean, you changed your life with one little chit chat.
So I'm forever grateful to Larson. I would hear him fuck occasionally. He's the coolest guy in the world.
He
And-
pounds too. He's a real hammer.
Oh, do you ever? But the show, I don't have that much memory because they would have those buckets of Tecatis. Now I would drink about 48 Tecatis,
man.
get shithoused, and then smoke weed. And Barnett, rest in peace.
Yeah.
We miss KB and yeah,
Those
good
were
show.
those were wild days. I remember doing those shows, and it was a great group. It was the Murder Fist guys: Ed Larson, Ben Kissel, Kevin Barnett, Jackie Zambrowski,
Marcus was always there.
Marcus. Oh my God, Marcus!
Produced the first podcast you and I ever did.
Yes.
He sat there.
Holy
It was
shit.
called Is This Something? And we would bounce bits, and then we had all these things. It was sound effects going, brr, brr, that's just a
Yes.
tweet.
You're blowing
And
my mind.
That's been done. That's a Carlin. We had something that was like, that's been done.
Right, right.
And Marcus produced it.
That what was Marcus?
Why can't we think of his name?
Marcus Smalls or Marcus. He was a kooky guy. He was like a Southern guy or a Midwest guy. He was ripped, I remember, and he was fun and jovial. I spent so much time with that guy, and now
Drummer.
Now I can't even think about. But yeah, either way, that's a fucking. I haven't thought of that guy in 10 years. Just blew my mind. But
Yeah, I hung
great
with him
guy.
all the time. We drank together.
Yeah.
Great guy. What is his last name?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Paul. Marcus.
I'm thinking
Price.
Marcus King, the musician.
Yeah.
Marcus Price. Is
No,
that
that's
something?
a different guy. That's Marcus Russell Price.
Wait, let me look it up.
Look
here.
it up because he's a great kid and a great guy. I don't know where he moved to. I think he got married, but
I think he's in LA. I think he's still on that podcast. Isn't he on
wow,
last
that podcast is killing it. By the way, Last House on the Left is huge. They sell out theaters.
Marcus
But-
Parks.
Parks.
Yes.
I had the P.
He has 179,000 followers.
Ah, good for him.
Holy shit, because he's the co-host of Last Podcast on the Left.
There you go. Well, shout out to those guys. Kissel is the man. Murder Fist was the best sketch group. They were dark. They were weird.
Wow.
It was the Wild West of New York. I mean, I did a podcast episode with them, and the whole thing was we're going to see how many Four Locos we could drink. That was the episode. And we all yacked. It got crazy. But, like, that was a Tuesday, you know?
That's crazy. Marcus
were wild
Parks.
times.
And then they were in the Dead Men. Remember the band?
Oh, yeah.
They had the band that would play. And I hired them for my birthday. A couple of years in a row. It was Murder Fist and then the Cowboy Men.
The Cowboy
and
Man.
they would dress up as skeleton and cowboy hats. It was
Yes.
fantastic. Holden.
Yes, Holden. And we used to do, I woke up on that guy's floor a few times. But we should do stick or treat, and Murder Fist would close it out every year, and it would be like, the Blue Man Group fucking each other in the ass. It was always something, like the King of the Hill guys, it was always over the top.
It was insane. I love Murder Fist, love Ed Larson, love Marcus, even though we couldn't remember his name.
Yeah,
But
Kissel is great. All those guys are menches.
He was
Yeah.
our podcast producer for about 10 minutes.
Isn't that wild?
And now he's famous, I guess.
Yeah, that was the Creek. That was the Creek heyday. The Creek in the Cave, which I'm sure will be a documentary at some point. That was some wild, wild times.
That's awesome. All right, got another one from
All right.
Luke. What do you two think about Orny Adams? Was he portrayed unfairly in the documentary Comedian?
Good question there, Lukey.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think a little. I think he is a bit of a overbearing personality. Like I think that's just who he is, and I think he's a little Jewy or a lot Jewy and very vocal about everything. And I think he was the perfect heel for that movie, but I do think he was represented a little shitty.
yeah, and he makes it sound like in WTF that some of it, which can happen. I have this often with like YouTube commenters being like, he's a piece of shit, because people they don't understand sarcasm, and I think a lot of time, like when he's like, I gotta open my own door.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
he's kidding.
Right.
Like he's that new face. You watch it going, who's this fucking guy? He thinks he needs to open the door, but he's like, that's a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
He's walking up to a van going, why am I opening my own door? Or when he's on the radio show and he's like, I will answer that when these people be quiet.
Yes.
But you can cut and edit in a way that makes it seem like this guy's a piece of shit.
Oh, completely.
But I mean, I'm sure he's annoyed that people are talking during the radio show, but he's not a scumbag. It's a
No,
funny thing to
no.
say, to be like, I'll answer your question when this person stops talking over
Yeah.
here. And then the DJ guy's like, ooh.
Yes.
So it seems like he's this thing. And even the thing of being frustrated with, it's like, it's fucking daylight
Yeah.
out, which always bothered me in the commentary when Jerry, who can be annoying, he says later they're at the Cosby show, not the Cosby show, but the Cosby's performance. And Cosby's like, yeah, I do 2 PM. And Jerry's like, think of the contrast. Remember earlier, Orny was complaining that was daytime. And look at this. And you're like, okay, well, Orny Adams doing a 5-minute at New Faces
Yeah.
at 3 p.m. is not the equivalent of
of
Bill
a comedy
Cosby.
legend.
And you know that.
Right.
Which is very
right.
frustrating. So, I do think, I've never met Orny.
Me neither.
I'm not a huge fan of his style, but I respect him. He
Yeah,
kills.
hard working motherfucker and never gave up, kept going. And this doc was huge in the comedy world anyway, and it painted him in a shitty light, and he has to live with that forever, and that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and it was 7 years in at the time,
He
and
was great for 7. I mean, that Letterman is killer.
Yeah, so those are a lot of hard things. I would not want me 7 years in
No.
on a film that everybody's seen streaming on Netflix.
Comparing with Seinfeld, and they make Seinfeld so likable in it, and he's like working his way back up. He's the underdog, but no, I think he's a fine guy, and I hope the best. And I think he's finally flourishing. So
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah, I think he's doing well. But yeah, I don't know that they were like, let's fuck this guy over. But
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, a documentary of you at 28, I wouldn't want that out
No,
there.
God no.
Mine would be a little bit spicier than Orny's.
Same.
All right, from Brendan. Please, can Mark, please, for the love of God, address his appearance on Good Morning Football years ago on the pod?
Oh, I would
the
love to.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Is that out there? Because I'd love to repost it.
I don't know. I'll look for it.
Oh, Peter Schrager's a big Tuesday.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's how we got on the show. He's still a big Tuesday.
Well, they threw me right off of there. Like I got the Jazzy Jeff in that studio. It was
Wow.
bad. So I don't know anything about football, and especially compared to these guys. And I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to be whatever, make a mark, if you will. And the woman on the show, I forget her name. She was very nice or whatever, but I could tell she was annoyed. Like, who is this guy? He's not even famous. He's always on. He's trying to be funny. And she said something like, "Tell me about this." And I go, "Well, I don't want to tell you about this because you're gonna slide right off your chair. Like you'll be turned on."
Right.
And she was like, "Whoa, cut it. That's it." And in my mind, I was like, that is like the cleanest way I could have said that.
Yeah.
And I'm a comedian. I'm trying to, I made 8 dick jokes. I made 9 he's hard jokes. So I think I was already on thin ice, and then I made the slide off the chair joke, and she was not having it, and That was it. They cut the whole segment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Is that over the line, or I guess it's definitely inappropriate, but
Well, it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, on a podcast, nobody gives a shit.
sure.
But I think on a show, it's very button up. It's corporate. It's NFL, and some people are different. I mean, you have some people that are in the whatever woke, however else you want to say it,
Yeah,
and some
yeah.
people that aren't. That's what's always weird. It's like that with like ball busting and stuff. Sometimes you're like, "Ah, you suck," and people are like, "I work hard. What do you mean?"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, sorry, I was doing this thing. This guy takes that one way, and you take it a different way."
And the joke was, I was talking about how I was a mascot at my high school, and so the joke was like, "This is so not hot that you're gonna slide off your," that's the joke, that it's
Yeah.
not sexy,
Right.
Right.
And I don't think she just heard fall off the chair, and it didn't fly. But I feel like if it was reversed, if she was like, "Hey, you're gonna be rock hard after this story," I'd be like, "All right," But I get it. Men and women, there's dynamics.
Yeah.
Grief, anal, jizz.
It's just who it is. I mean, like to her, she's looking at it as like, we have a guest here, and I'm trying to be a professional and talk sport, and you're talking about my pussy,
Right.
the function of my pussy. Fuck you, get out of here. But
All right.
some people are like, that's hilarious. He's
Right.
talking about my pussy. That's really funny. So it's just,
In the words of Larry David, I took a risk.
yeah,
I took a risk.
I'm a comedian.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my morning show. I was like, you queef? You ever queef? And she was like, oh, my God. And that was a risk, too, and that paid off. So
Right.
Exactly.
you never know. That's also vaginal related.
Yes. All right, we just got this into the Patreon. It's not a question, but I think this is pretty good. From Michael. It says, "Hey, Mark and Joe and Chuck. My name is Michael. I'm a big old Tuesday. As my love letter to Tuesdays with Stories, I decided to go back and listen to episodes 401 through 450 and tally up some of your favorite sayings.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
I tried to cover the classics,
Nervous.
but there are quite a few of those, and it was hard to keep track of them all, so I had to narrow things down and land on the big three, anal, jizz, and queef. Here's the breakdown.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is exciting.
Yeah. Over the course of those 50 episodes, you said anal 147 times.
You did.
Combined?
Just combined.
Oh, all of us.
Combined.
Okay.
Yep.
147?
Jizz 203.
Wow. That's a big jump. Jizz
Queef
jump.
266.
Wow. Those are mostly you, I think, because you say queef way more than me. I'm big into jizz. I'd like to
says-
get the breakdown of who said what.
It'd be nice.
Roughly anal 3 times per episode, jizz 4 times per episode, and queef 5 times per episode.
Wow.
All right.
Interesting.
Good for you, sir. I love that they have these weirdos out there who crunch these numbers like this.
I mean, I'd love to get this tally for like the entirety of the show. 'Cause it's got to be in the thousands, clearly.
Well, that's what he said. He said if you average that and it was similar for the rest of the show, which this is hypothetical.
I love a mathematician doing like a Matt Damon, Goodwill Hunting with queef
Wow.
and jizz, on a giant chalkboard.
It says, average, it would be anal 1,395 times, jizz 1,860 times, queef 2,325
Man,
times.
those are like Jenna Jameson numbers.
wow.
Also, you farted on Mike 43 times, almost once per episode, so keep it up.
Hell yeah. I mean, I did 2 on the last one.
Thanks for all the laughs. Let me know if you want me to tally up anything else. Anal, jizz, and queef, Michael.
All right, Mike.
Wow,
pretty
that's
good.
amazing.
That's pretty good.
Gotta love autism.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, question from jbone_9379 on Instagram.
J-Bone.
Have either of you two queefs seen the movie Red Rocket?
Yes. I did a whole podcast about it.
Simon
Oh,
Rex.
really? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I saw that come up.
Yeah.
Any quick
yeah,
thoughts?
it was great. Simon Rex is a Tuesday. He's amazing in it.
He's great.
I hope that he gets an Oscar nomination. He deserves it.
Wow, I haven't
Felt the
seen it
film
yet.
was a little long at times, but which, by the way, he listened to the podcast. He was like, "I'll let the director know." And I was like, it's nerve wracking. But I think the movie is very good, and I thought he was incredible.
Yeah, we had him on our We Might Be Drunk, and he's the coolest guy. Loves comedy. So funny. Told us about there was a dick. In the movie he runs naked.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a prosthetic,
All right.
which I thought was shocking because he's a pretty well endowed guy, but he's like, I just didn't want. It's still your dick.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, on camera. So I get it.
Weird thing, he used to rap with Mickey Avalon, and my band opened for him and Mickey Avalon in Providence.
What was it? DJ Stinky? What was his name?
I thought he was Simon Rex.
No, he had a funny rap name
Did he?
that I should know.
Yeah.
Who's Mickey Avalon?
He did some very weird, like, novelty-esque songs, like My Dick is This.
Yes,
Your
yes.
Dick is This. Simon Rex is in that, right?
Yeah, but he's got a good name. He's got a fun name, like
Interesting.
Dick Dickless or something like that.
Yeah, Mickey Avalon, he was not huge at all, but he he had some interesting little nuggets. All right.
Fun fact about Simon Rex: he was opening for Charlie Sheen when he did stand up.
No
So he was
kidding.
on the jet with Sheen and living months on end with Sheen. He's got some wild
I was going
stories.
to say, he must have crazy stories. All right. Tanner Dirks
Dirks.
to Mark. Did Mark ever get the package of mushrooms he mailed himself?
How do these people know about this shit?
I don't know.
And yes, I did, and that was a ton of money. I have mushrooms in my bag at all time, because I just forget. And this was so much mushroom. It was like a package like this, and I couldn't. I was like, I'm too scared to fly with this, so I mailed it, and it got there.
Wow.
It's like Mitch Hedberg. You're a drug dealer, you don't even know it. To FedEx.
That's funny. All right, for Joe from Nick Larson. Joe, what is the most overrated movie of all time?
Usual Suspects.
Whoa! Out of the gate with an answer.
I mean,
Wow.
that movie
What's the
stinks.
problem?
It doesn't make any sense.
What?
Because it's all hypothetical. He's just
It's
making
the
it up.
whole thing is just hypothetical. He's making it up from things on the thing. So
Yeah.
you're watching all this stuff that didn't happen, doesn't happen.
But isn't that the
With all
fun that he
this
made it
fake
up? But
tension.
you don't know it's made up till the end.
Right, but you're like, so what the fuck did I just watch? And it's just tricking the audience. It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. And I always tell people, Roger Ebert is such a great writer and knows how to write and articulate. So just go to rogerebert.com and type in The Usual Suspects because he can articulate it better. But the whole thing is just nothing. It's just a big nothing. And there's all this tension. Also, he's supposed to be this evilest, scariest guy, but it's just like Kevin Spacey being like, hey, what's up? Yeah, whatever. And Kaiser Sose actually appears in the story, but he doesn't exist. So it's like the whole thing is based on false pretense. It's just a big trick. And they're not he's not just tricking Chaz Palminteri, he's tricking the audience.
But couldn't you say that about Sixth Sense? The whole movie's a lie, and then there's a big reveal. It's the same
But
format.
it's not a lie. It's true. He's actually seeing Bruce Willis.
Yes.
I see.
It's not fake. But in this, it's like at the end of the movie, you find out that none of those things actually happened. He's just making them up as he goes
Yes,
along.
these things are happening to Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Right.
In this world is
Right.
ghost, and this kid sees ghosts.
Yes.
And that's
Right.
the reveal.
But isn't it fun to have the whole movie be like, oh, the whole thing was a lie? That's the whole fun of it, I thought.
I guess, but you're just like, oh, so none of that then.
I don't know. I enjoy the movie. I don't know.
I like it too. I know what you
I
mean.
think most
though.
overrated of all time is a stretch.
Well,
But
so that-
I hear your point.
So,
Boondock Saints is really bad, by the way.
but that doesn't have good reviews. That's like a cult classic
Right,
where people are
right.
like, oh, I love this movie, but it's stupid as shit.
Yeah, so stupid.
And I think it's a
cringy.
small group of people that are like, I love it. And I think part of the reason they love it is because it's so bad.
Yeah.
There's others, though. I mean, like The English Patient, which Seinfeld mocked. I mean, that won Best Picture over
Never saw
Fargo, which is insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fargo's incredible.
What else is...
So you guys don't like Boondock Saints at all?
It's fun. I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, I haven't seen it in years.
You ever watch the that documentary about the director?
That was
but I heard
great.
that's
Overnight.
great.
It's amazing.
So cool.
It's great.
Other overrated movies.
Well, you don't love Jurassic Park.
No, I like Jurassic Park.
Oh, you do?
I just think it's, yeah.
Yeah, you-
No, I think it's, I mean, it's for kids, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But no, Jurassic Park is great. Yeah, overrated.
I think
I'm
Forrest
sure it's
Gump's a little overrated, but I know that's sacrilegious.
Yeah, people hate. I mean, no, people hate Forrest Gump.
I don't hate it. I don't think it's like a masterpiece. I like it. I've seen it 800 times, but I think it's just every cliche. It's just a bunch of cliches in a row, and then a kid with AIDS.
Yeah, people people hate that film. God, there's a lot. There's
How
a
about
bunch.
Departed? What do you think about Departed?
That's overrated, but it is fun.
I love
I've also
Departed. I think
watched
it's
it
fun.
900 times, but it's not a great film.
Yeah, it's maybe slightly overrated. I mean, it depends on what rate it is. I mean, I
Right.
think I don't know what like the tomato rating is. It won the Academy Award, which is silly, but they were making up for this other shit. They
Totally.
didn't get it for Raging Bull or Goodfellas,
Right.
So they had to give him one, and they're like, "Oh, we'll give it to him for this." But
Yeah.
Departed is very fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Very fun.
All right.
Jack Nicholson's over the top.
How about this from Tobin Meinke?
Ooh.
How is Derek, and can we ever hear him on the pod?
I'd love to have him on.
Derek is good. That'd be fun. He'll probably clam up and just
Yeah.
lay an egg. I mean, he gave my best man speech. He started quivering. He just bailed on it. Then threw
how
the speech
cute.
away.
That's adorable.
He wrote a long speech. Never got to see it. He got 2 lines in. Started crying. Just bailed.
He's a behind the scenes. He's probably the one who'd crunch those numbers on Queefs. I mean, he knows about the pod.
He's a big Tuesday. He's literally the funniest person I've ever met. Never been even close to show business. And yeah, I don't know. I'll do a queef with him sometime. But he
Yeah.
also has got a job. He's like a high up guy
Oh,
for like
really?
an oil company.
Oh, he can't do this.
like a shipping. He's a merchant marine guy. So
Get a
'cause
Queef in.
I told the story. He was part of my story on Ari's podcast, Ari's TV show. And it was about this drug addicted lady showing up. We all fucked her. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't say your name." He's like, "You did. And everyone knows I'm friends with you. Like, this is no good."
You
So,
said Derek?
I think I said Derek.
Oh,
on there.
wow.
I mean, I took it down anyways, but
Is this the blowjob lady, the toothless blowjob lady?
shit in the
Or
shoe.
that
is
was a
it-
different story. These are all different stories. But yeah, maybe I'll do a queef with him. But he's good. He's alive. I'm going out there in 2 weeks to see him.
I'd love to hear it.
Great. All right. So how about this from Justin M. Woodward? What's the weirdest thing someone ever asked you to sign? For example, I brought the Kevin Hart book to Atlanta.
Oh, that was awesome. Good little nugget there with the Kevin Hart. I've had the tits. I've done the tits. That's fun.
Never done the tits. Lady Gaze. Let me sign a tit for
Yeah.
God's sakes.
I'm trying to think. I've signed some weird shit. A lot of ticket. Hey, could you sign my ticket? Could you sign my joke book? It's a lot of shit that just people have on them.
Did you feel uncomfortable signing the boobs?
Nah, it was great.
Really?
Wow. I mean, I thought she was joking, and I'm like, "You sure? You really sure?" And then I signed
Yeah.
it. It was fun, but it's just a gesture. Like this will be gone in
Yeah.
10 hours, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Unless they get a tattoo. There's one lady that gets things tattooed. DePaula refused to sign. You sign her leg, and then she gets tattooed on there. DePaula was like, "I don't want my name tattooed on your body."
Why not? It feels like that would be fun.
I've never signed anything crazy. I mean, maybe somebody's asked me to sign. I had recently a guy who was drunk in Toronto. He had me sign his Yankees jersey or something because he didn't have anything. He's like, "Just sign my shirt."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
He has a lot of that.
I think I've signed somebody's hat before.
There's a guy out there with a shirt, and the shirt looks like it's been through Nam, and he has like Kinnison, he has Dice Clay, he has Robin Williams, and I signed that one. I forget the guy's name, but he's like a comedy psycho.
Actually, there's a follow-up question. I forgot who asked this, but someone just reached out to me and messaged me. Why did you start saying I'm Kevin Hart?
Well, both Kevin Hart and comedy came from bombing so much. So I was bombing pretty regularly, and I'd go, "I'm Kevin Hart." Like, fuck you guys. I'm not even going to say my real name because it was so embarrassing what I just did up here. So I thought that would be a funny way to end it. Like, I can't even give myself enough respect to go, "I'm Mark Norman." So I would just go, "I'm Kevin Hart. Fuck you." And then comedy was me doing dark jokes, and people were like, "Geez," and I'm going, "Comedy." That's where that came from. Like I'm letting you know I'm doing comedy, and so that's where both of those came. And then I said Kevin Hart on like a Tonight Show or a Conan. I was like, I'm gonna do this a lot. I'll just do this every time now, and then it was stuck.
That's great. From Patrick Martin. Just curious if Joe would ever dabble back in some shrooms or psychedelics in the future. I know Mark loves them. Keep up the great Patreon.
I know the answer to this.
No,
I know.
no, but thanks for the question.
Now, what about this? What if you got a tooth pulled, a broken leg, and they threw the Vicodin at you?
Well, I mean, if it's like prescribed or whatever, if I was in like serious pain and took a prescription thing, but maybe. But it's always like you like check your intentions beforehand. You're like, am I trying to get fucked up right now? Am I in pain? Check your motives.
Right.
It's one thing if you're like, let me, like if I got to go to a bar to do a show, you're like, oh, I'm here to do a show. But if it's like, I'm alone, I'll just sit at this bar for a while because I want
Yeah.
to be in a bar. Or if you're like, yeah, I want to kill the pain. But boy, Vicodin is so fun.
Oh, nothing better than laying on a couch with a Vicodin and a beer watching a movie.
Couple beers and a Vicodin, you're sailing.
Easy, big fella.
It's the best. Those were the days.
I get a really hard one. So I'll ask you
so
the hard
do I.
one so you can think about it, and then I'll ask you an easy
Oh,
one.
Jesus.
So from Kristen said, "What is your best childhood memory?"
Female gay.
That's hard.
Yeah, that is hard.
That's tough. You can give some thought. And this is from Connor Kearney.
Kearney.
What are your top 3 smells? That's pretty fun.
3 smells.
That's a good one.
good.
Wow. That's harder than the childhood memory to me. I mean, the smells, baseball glove,
Oh, good one. Used or
baseball. I think either way, that leathery smell, but it's a particular
Yeah.
ball and glove. Gasoline, I love.
new? I love
Gasoline is the best.
gasoline. I'll smell some unleaded all day. I like
pine needles.
Oh, pine is good. Yeah, Christmas tree.
Pine is good. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Same
that's
thing.
a good one. It's cliche, but the cinnamon rolls. You wake up at someone's house, and you can
Yes.
smell the mom making cinnamon rolls coming
Yeah.
through the house. That's exciting.
Cinnamon's big. I have a cinnamon roll
Thanksgiving.
every day still.
Really?
Yeah. Woo. Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Oh.
Thanksgiving is just magical.
Pussy.
Yeah, just a tint of puss, like not
During
you don't want
Thanksgiving.
you don't want a stinker and you don't want a blander. You want just a beep, a touch of vag clam gash.
How about the best childhood memory thing, though? That's a tough one.
Best childhood memory. I mean, I have it locked and loaded.
Really?
Yeah. Mine is 11 years old, 12 years old, 94. I'm playing for Whitman News. That was my baseball team, Little League team, the championship. Whole town is there.
Whitman News.
Yeah, that was
That's
like
a funny name.
It was a sponsor. Like that was like a place when you went and bought the newspaper.
Got it,
Like
got
it was
it.
like Bill's Bar, fucking TJ's Pizza,
Sure.
Whitman News, and we're down a run going into the final inning. I've probably told this story before. And Tom Brooks was like our big home run hitter. He's hitting 4th. I'm hitting 5th. And the coach, John Kelly, says to Tom Brooks, don't try to hit a home run. There's 2 outs. He goes, just get on base. Somehow, some way, focus, get on base. That's what I want you to do, because if you try to hit a home run, you're going to strike out. And he said, when you get on base, Joe List, you're the man. And I said, you got it.
Wow.
And Tom Brooks walks for the first time all year. He swings at everything.
Uh-oh.
And he manages to walk, gets on base. I'm the man. Then the other team's coach stops the game, calls timeout.
Oh, God.
Bases loaded. He brings an outfielder into the infield to have a 5th infielder.
Come on.
A 5th infield, which, by the way, as an adult now, I'm like, that's fucked up to do anyways.
Yes.
Because it's like winning, we're 11 years old, 10,
Right.
11, 12. Winning is not as important as to show up the hitter by you're bringing an extra infielder in like it's a Major League Baseball game. What are you doing?
Right, right.
And by the way, I was a good hitter, but he just thought, percentage-wise, let's get it. It's more likely this ball is going to be hit on the ground in the infield. Let's cut him down this run at home.
Yes.
He pulls the left fielder in, so there's 2 outfielders. I hit a line drive right into the gap in the outfield, walk-off base hit. The whole town goes crazy.
Wow.
I touched first base. It was like Rocky 1.
Whitman News.
It was amazing. And for that moment, I was everything I ever wanted to be. And it still fuels me to be like, you piece of shit.
Yes.
You thought I was nothing, but you're nothing. Yeah. You're nothing. I'm something.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Still, probably the highlight of my life, let alone childhood.
Wow. That is a
that.
humdinger.
Game winner, and to have a guy say, you're the man. And I went, you got it.
Wow.
If I'm the man, I'll be the man.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's
that was
excellent.
I can't top that. I got nothing.
Well, you tore your ball sack. That's a highlight.
Yeah, it
that
was
was fun.
college. I'm trying to think of kid stuff. My childhood was fucking weird, so I don't know. I don't have much. I can think of a lot of bad.
Yeah,
Lot of-
bad is well, we have a negativity bias.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Do you have any funny stuff from school where you felt like really funny? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I remember every great line I ever had, and here's a little nugget. I think I've told this before, but a couple lines. One, 9th grade, first time in Catholic school in a uniform. I don't know anybody. I'm freaking out. I was a public school kid, and this girl is passing notes. These 2 hot girls, Rachel and Beth. Gorgeous.
Oh, hot names.
They're, Catholic schoolgirls passing notes and giggling. And the teacher, Mr. Shaw, science teacher, goes, that's it. That's enough. And he grabs a note. And he goes, I'm reading this out loud into the class. And the girl's like, no, Mr. Shaw, please. She starts crying. She's hysterical. And he can see that she's flipping out. So he calls an audible. So he makes it a bit. And he goes, 1 leather whip, one ball gag, one.
God.
Yeah, he went hard. And that got nothing. The crowd's like, what? Or the audience, the class
Yes.
was like, what the hell? And I go, how'd you get my Christmas list? And there was already so much tension that I cut it, and the place went apeshit.
Wow.
And then this girl, Danielle, after the class was like, you were funny today. Be funny again. And I was like,
whoa.
a woman talked to me.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
You should have taken her advice.
And then another one. This is in I don't know, 4th grade. I was in resource. Did you guys have resource?
I don't think
That was
so.
like the gifted bullshit. It was so stupid.
No,
But Miss O'Dwyer, our big, scary, big bird looking Irish, big old Coke bottle glass teacher, we were doing what do you call it? Those expressions, like what goes around.
Comes around.
Thank you. And she goes, what are you not supposed to do in a glass house? And I went, shower. Killed. Killed.
That's big.
And that was a highlight.
That's big.
All right, let's do one more. Then it's time for you to get out of
Okay.
here.
Yeah, we got to wrap soon because Mark's going to fly.
This is the last question. Brandon Todd Carr says, when and how did Joe and Mark come up with the word association thing they do? They go back and forth multiple times doing word association and wordplay in the middle of a conversation without disturbing the flow of the podcast. I've never seen it done quite like that anywhere else.
I think it's all Seinfeld.
It's that and just
Is
Blackberry,
that
Blackberry,
Seinfeld?
Blackberry.
Well, no, I think he's talking about when you're like, blah, blah, da, da, that like the seagulls, like flock of seagulls, like that kind of thing. They don't really do that in Seinfeld.
That's just years of repetition and filling time and trying to have as many jokes as possible.
Yeah.
So even though it's not a joke to say armchair, chairman of the board,
Right.
bored to death, or whatever the hell we do,
Yeah.
it's just like we need more zingers. So how can we make more? And that's the quickest way to a zinger. Just a word association. I say one word, you say, Bobcat Goldthwait. That's just boom, boom, boom. And it's the fastest way to make a joke. Might not be the best joke or whatever, but it's the fastest way to get there.
Yeah, I don't
there's-
know when we started doing it, but
Yeah.
we're doing it. I don't know. It's hard. The whole show is going on for so long now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
Because I'd love to
form.
go back and forth, go back and be like, when's the last time we said it's all pipes? When's the
Right.
first time we said whatever?
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
it's all pipes.
Yeah, we'll get the guys tally on that.
Yeah, I'll ask him for it.
But yeah, it just happens because you're just also we run out of shit to say, so you kind of just say the first thing on your mind after a while because you don't want dead air.
Yeah. And it's also like a little bit of a comedy exercise.
Yes,
And part of the implication is like, let's reach. Because
Right.
that almost gets funny is what's the next one?
reach around.
Right. But it's also very similar to Huckleberry, Blackberry, Blackberry, Blueberry, Blueberry,
Sure.
Plumberry,
Yeah.
Peach.
Yeah.
True. I guess
Um,
There's definitely that in there.
Yeah.
for sure. That was great.
Very Seinfeld influenced.
Yeah.
That was a great Q&A. Great answers.
Yeah.
You guys had awesome stories for that.
We better knock out these ads. Mark's got to fly.
Oh yeah,
we
let's
got
do
the
the
ads.
ads.
All right.
That's it for the Patreon. Thanks for being on the Patreon. Tell a friend.
Thank you,
and
gang.
join again.